Namaste. I'm starting some perennial flowers today, and I thought I'll take you along the journey. Today is January 14th, Makara Sankranti. It's a winter harvest festival in India. Auspicious day, but also it kind of a great reminder for me to put it on my head that this is when I like to start my seeds in zone 7. So how do you know your zone? You just Google it, you put your zip code in, and then it will give you a zone name. The zone will usually determine when the plants can be planted outside, which of the plants can go out at what time of the year. Because lots of things, if you just kind of like take things and put them out in the garden, they will die because of the frost. So you got to be careful as to when these plants need to go out in the garden. But perennial flowers are the ones which will come back every year for us because a lot of things which are labeled as annual flowers are very tender. They don't like the cold, so they kind of die back completely, and you have to restart them every year. Perennial flowers, unlike that, they do not have like a long flowering season that you would have from an annual flower. For example, if you have like cosmos or marigold and then you plant them in May, they will kind of continue to flower all the way until like November. But perennial might flower for about 4 to 6 weeks in your garden. 4 weeks, you're very lucky. 3 is usually how they go. 6 is like you hit the bonus. So, but they're still worth it because once you put them in the garden, they're there forever. You don't have to do them every year. They have nice foliage. They're robust. They tend to put on a great show because they only have like 3 or 4 weeks of show in the entire year. So they do put on a great show when they come up in the garden. So that's what I'm doing today. And I will be starting a tray of seeds today. And I will tell you as to how I do it. The seeds, when you plant any seeds, they need two things to start germinating. One is they need warmth, and second, they need humidity. A lot of seeds actually do not need sunlight to germinate. That is one of the reasons why we bury the seeds inside, because they like to sit in the cozy little, dark, warm place, so they're ready to be germinated. So let's get started as to the varieties I'm growing today and what are the things you need. I'm starting with, I have a cup of potting soil here. When you look at YouTube videos or Google them, they usually recommend that you have like a seed starting mix, which it is very soft. It will look like this. I just kind of got some to show you. It will be like very crumbly, and it doesn't have any chunky things in them. I just sifted the potting soil, that's all, to just show usually how the potting soil will be. Seed starting soil will be. But a potting soil, on the other hand, has a lot of texture. It has mulch, it has compost, it has vermiculite, it has perlite, it has a lot of things which kind of makes it coarse. It is said that when your seed starting mix is very chunky, it doesn't allow the roots to penetrate and they don't grow a very robust system. I don't believe that. I feel I've always used potting soil for mine, and it's completely fine. You can buy a potting soil from a store, a bag of a good potting soil. I can leave some of the names of the good quality potting soil I think are very, very good. They're a little expensive, but they're good value for the money, or you can make your own, which I will be doing when the season hits, which in March, where I do a lot of seeds like my tomatoes and peppers and eggplants and vegetables. All of that I will be doing next. Then I will actually make my own potting mix. But now it's just one bag is more than sufficient to get all the things started which I want to do for this month. So I'm just sticking with a bag just so that I don't have a lot of things lying around in my house. I know it's easy to clean and easy to manage, so I just got myself a bag of potting mix. Okay, let's go ahead and start. As I said, you can buy something like this, which is a seed starting mix, or you can do what I'm doing, just get a potting mix, your choice. But people do recommend that you should get seed starting mix. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to move the camera a little bit out. So what are the things you need to get started? You need, as I said, some potting soil. You need a kind of a container. This is from Bootstrap. I really like them because they have large holes where the roots can grow out of, and they're supposed to last a lifetime. I used to use these plastic containers, whatever I have at home, takeout containers, but now finally I switched to these last year, which I'm very happy about because it keeps it organized, and life does become easier when things are organized. Okay, so I do take a little paint strip and then write the name. One, because you think you will remember the seeds, you will never remember the seeds. So first thing I do actually is write the name on an empty thing, and then I start filling up with potting soil. So I'm going to go ahead and put some potting soil in here, and then I press it a little bit, Okay, so that it's kind of is ready to be potted. And I'm going to do that to all the things. I'm going to just go ahead. Okay, so we've got all the potting mix filled up, and then I've got seed packets. I put them right on the individual, seed tray, which I want to start the seed with, because I will be searching for that while you guys kind of stare at me. So I thought this would be the better way. So let's go ahead and do that. So as I said, I filled it up. So I'm going to start with all the echinacea. So echinaceas are these purple coneflower. Unfortunately, a lot of my seeds come from, these perennial seeds comes from swallowtail, which I had a good luck last time. So I ordered more this year, and they don't have pictures on them. So you're gonna like, this is the coneflower, this is purple coneflower, which is like an awesome thing. Butterflies love them, and you kind of attract a lot of different types of butterflies if you have echinacea purpurea. So super easy. Most of them will tell that 1/4 inch, you're just gonna do like a 1/4 inch down with the seedlings. That's what they all say. And I tend to put about 2 seeds in one packet, because if one doesn't germinate, I make a little hole with my finger. Nothing fancy. And make sure that it is the same. This is the coneflower purple, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2 in each. It says 1/4 of an inch down. So go ahead and put 2 in each place. And then I have still tons of, and this seed packet, like I've got, like in the last year, I think I grew 4 or 5 of these plants, and I still have them in the garden. And you can never have enough cornflowers. One of the other things about my garden is that we get a lot of deer. So I have to make sure that things I grow are deer resistant. I'm not saying these are. Sometimes they eat them, but if I protect them until they're larger, they kind of tend to leave them alone. So let's see. This is Ruby Star, Echinacea Ruby Star. Same thing, purple. So this one is like more like a brighter color than that. I don't have this with me, so this is the first time I'm growing them. Actually, I grew 2 other echinacea last year. One is called Twisted something, which is very beautiful, from Baker Creek, and this is from Swallowtail. Swallowtail do have like the one seedling which never germinated for me. There was lemongrass, so I grew it 1 year from this company. It never germinated, and then I got that from Baker Creek last year, and I have good germination. So it really depends. Sometimes this is a chance you will take with these seeds. Sometimes they germinate, sometimes they might not, but most times they do. So 2 seeds in each hole. You will have enough seeds to kind of give it to your friends too. If you and that's one of the things I suggest. If you have a good group of friends, you can create this activity with somebody, because one, especially if you're a beginner gardener and you don't want to buy all the seeds. So if you buy 1 packets of seeds, and if you're interested in 4 or 6 plants, there's still enough to make for 2 other, like 12, at least 12 other trays. There are at least 20 seeds in here, so you can actually split with a friend, and it's a good activity to do with friends, if you want to. If you want to make gardening friends, that's a good way to do too. So this is another one. It's called Wild Berry. So I'm assuming that this has like a brighter berry color, more like a raspberry, I'm thinking. So again, I'm growing things with, apparently this is very expensive, because there are only, I don't know, very few seeds, probably 10 seeds in there. It says 10. So they're kind of expensive then, maybe, because some of them are hard to grow. Some of the seeds are hard to process. So that means the seed companies kind of will give you less seeds for the amount of money you're going to spend. So it's a good company. I don't mind spending my money on them. Okay, let's see. I don't want to lose any seeds here, right? Ooh, there you go. So I'm thinking it is a berry, which kind of means probably it is like a nice berry. So yeah, it has exactly 11 seeds. So one of these cell is going to, oh no, it is 12 seeds. There you go, good. So we're going to put, so those are the three types of echinacea purpurea I'm growing. These are like the purple coneflower, but they are just different varieties. As I said, they are labeled. As you see, I have not watered them because I always bottom water them so the seed do not float and then they'll get misplaced inside. This is painted daisy. I've never grown in. I thought daisies are supposed to be annual. This one says it is hardy up to zone 7. So it's supposed to be not dead on me next year. I'll keep you updated how that went, okay? So we're gonna make some hole in here. Okay. Lots of seeds for this one. So daisies are not that expensive. I think it is getting a little dark in here. I need to move the camera so you can see. The sun has moved. The sun has moved. Okay. I'm actually being a little generous here. I'm putting extra seeds in here. I can always thin it out, or I'll just have like a clump of seeds, which I can divide the seedlings themselves. When the seedlings come, most of the plants people think that they're not. If you kind of let the root system develop nicely, even if you kind of pull them apart from their roots and rip them apart, they usually don't. I have never found them to be dying on me. These are all tough plants. Plants are tough, man. They are in environment. They have survived. They've existed before human beings existed. They have adapted themselves to a lot of things. So they're tough. We think they're not. Golden Jubilee Agastache. I have got 2 Agastache. Let me see. Oh, here we go. So I've got Agastache. Agastache are they kind of a minty taste to them, and they're really good. I like them a lot because again the deers leave them alone, and they have this nice head of purple flowers. One of them is supposed to have a very beautiful again, see, I put the okay, let's see which one is this. Golden Jubilee. This is Globetrotter. So one of them, it has like a nice pink flower, and one of them is a purple flower. One of them have chartreuse, like a very light green foliage on it, which I think so. You can see if the seeds are very, very small, they put it in a little, it comes in a Ziploc with a little baggie so that they don't get lost, because probably that means these seeds are probably very small and they have a tendency to probably fly everywhere. They're not bad. They're supposed to be a family of mountain mint. They're not bad. I can see the seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2, making sure it's the same. Globetrotter, Globetrotter. Okay. So again, I grew the purple variety last year. One more variety. The deer did eat them when they were very small, but then they left them alone when the seed heads or the flowers started popping. I think that was too strong for them. They have a very licorice, sonf, if you know fennel, mint kind of a thing. You can also make tea with their leaves if you want to. I did not do any of that. I kind of left them for the butterflies because the butterflies seem to love them. And we got a lot of butterflies and bees because they were covered. Now, most of them are pollinator attracting seeds. Okay, let's do the Golden Jubilee. I'm thinking this is the one which has the light green foliage. The foliage looked very pretty, so I thought, okay, let me go. Less seeds, definitely less seeds than the other one. So probably this means this is kind of a, rarer plant. Rarer seeds, whenever there is rare seeds the seed company is selling, I always notice that they give less amount of seeds because it probably takes time to harvest the seeds. Maybe you won't get enough seeds when you harvest, so they have to be super careful. I don't want to use all of them because if it doesn't germinate, I would like to try again next year. Okay, these are so tiny, so I don't even know. I'm just gonna make a very small. They are like literally like you have to kind of put them in a toothpick. Very, very small. I can barely hold it in my hands. So small. It's okay. So that's one of the reasons I like gardening, because it teaches you a lot of patience. It teaches you mindfulness, right? You cannot just handle the seeds however you like to. You kind of have to be very careful with those seeds. Okay, so this will go in here. Let me put the seed back in the packet so I don't lose it. One of the reasons, as I said, I like growing perennial flowers from seeds is because it's very expensive. Like if you probably won't even get all these varieties out in the garden center. If you were to go into the garden center, you probably won't even get all of them. And second, it gets very expensive very quickly. And a lot of times you won't buy them because like, oh my God, it's going to cost $15 for one single plant. This one, which will be very, very small plants the first year, which probably doesn't look like anything, will grow into a nice size. I mean, the ones which are going to be, I will show you in the gardening season when I transplant mine, which I started last year, they were nothing. They were like tiny. But by the end of the year, they became this large. They were about 10 15 inches wide, at least I would say easy 10 inches wide. That means I can even divide them and put them in different parts of my garden now. Like the ones I started last year, I started I think 4 or 5 varieties last year, and so I got a little bit more courageous and I'm doing more this year. Okay, let's see. Penstemon coral. Penstemon, I have one penstemon. I think though that was one of the most successful I had in any of the perennial flower I have grown until now. I grew 6 last year and 6 the year before, and both of them. So I have 12 plants of penstemons, which have like a very beautiful white flowers with purple stems. So this one is supposed to be coral. The stems are green and then coral colored flowers. So I'm also 45 years old, so the seeds are not easy to see. And glasses is just annoying when you're trying to do the garden work. So we just have to pretend that everything's okay in the world and keep doing this. Okay. 2 each. Everybody gets 2. Again, I try not to, I kind of see the size of the seed. If the seed looks, it's very tiny, I try not to bury it too low because I think it will be very hard for these to come and germinate. Again, I am sorry that I'm doing this on camera, but if I don't do this, there's no way I will know which seed it was if I kind of forget it. And my editing skills are not so good that I can kind of do this. Okay, let's see what else. Gara. So this is called Bride, and when I went to France last year, I saw so many beautiful flowers of these everywhere. And I've seen a lot of people growing. I don't have them, and everywhere, like especially in the southern France, I saw like by the streets and everywhere, these things were like looking so glorious, like ethereal, and they're very tough plants with very tiny little stalks with a beautiful butterfly looking white flowers, and I felt like they were kind of look so whimsy and beautiful, and I thought, oh, I should grow them. And so I thought, let me get the seeds. So these seeds are very, very big. So I think I'm going to go 1 seed per thing. They're really large seeds. Maybe bury them a little bit more deeper. Again, if these things do not germinate for whatever reasons, then I'll try again in a couple of months. That's what you do. You trust the process, but sometimes all the seeds do not germinate. Okay, so I'm going to save them because they're very large, and these are my favorite flowers, at least what I looked up. So either I will do them again, because I do think I want a lot of Gara in my garden. 6 plants are not going to be enough, but I'm going to have patience and wait either a little bit later, or I will do, okay, what is this? Verbascum. Do not know what they are. Produce an abundance of 1 inch of 5-petaled circular flower on tall spikes. Grows to 2 to 3 feet tall. Color includes creamy yellow, soft lavender, and peachy rose shades. Packet has 15 pelleted seeds. So it has 15 seeds, so we'll go 2 on each. Ooh, so sometimes what happens is, I don't know if you can see, hopefully. Let me see if I can focus on it. Oh, okay. So sometimes what happens is the seeds will be so small they put a coating on the top of it so that it's easier to plant, because probably these seeds are so small they will fly away if I even open the packet. And then the seeds probably are like hard to get. So what they do is then they will say, I'm going to do one seed. One, because they're pelleted, and I kind of have confidence that they probably will germinate. And these are expensive, so we will save them either to make another batch later, grow another batch by the end of spring maybe, right? We will see how these things grow, and I will start again in March maybe. So I'll have more. Okay, let's not waste the seeds. As I said, one of the things I notice in life is like, these are the things like people say like, oh, how do you grow patience? So you get activities which actually need patience in life, and then there is no other way but to show patience, because if you don't have patience, then you won't have flowers. So if you create activities which requires to have patience, then you will develop patience, and then you just have a bit of a better attitude in life. But if you're doing activities in your life which doesn't require patience, then then it's very hard. Like, I don't know, like I'm losing my mind, I'm so stressed, because the activities, like these things are, we live a very these have grown several times. This is actually the 5th year, or maybe even the 6th year for the seed packet. Consistently got a lot of seeds every single year. As I said, they don't come back for me in the 3rd year. So they flower for 2 years, and the 3rd year they don't come back for us. So I've been growing them every single year, and I love them. They have a beautiful scent to them. The seed, as I said, they have lots of seeds in them, so I don't have to worry. And I think they will last another 2 years too. I have enough seeds there to last. And I probably should collect more seeds this year. So as I said, if you want to develop patience, you just create activities which need patience, and then you slowly begin to grow into it. It's not possible to do things to develop patience and have a lot of peace within yourself if you're not doing peaceful activities. It doesn't work. It really doesn't. You can sit and meditate all you want, and then that will be 20 minutes, and then it gives you a hit of a dopamine as to like, oh, I meditated. One, it makes you feel better that you meditated. Second, it just kind of makes you feel like, oh, like, what is that called? What effect? Placebo effect, that just thinking that I did something good for me usually puts me in a better mood. So it's probably a placebo effect that it kind of makes you feel better. But if you want a lasting peace of mind, then you need to pick activities which require peace of mind, which require you to sit here and then do this meticulously. And then you have to water them, and you have to take care of them, and you have to watch them grow, and then get excited when they germinate. So all of these things are, they support each other. They support each other. Okay, let's see. What is this? Columbine. Columbine are these, what does it say? It says beautiful 2 to 3 inch, beautiful 2 to 3 inch deep blue and white upward facing flowers, bloom from early spring to early summer. Plants grows about 2 feet tall. Flowers the first years when started early. Perennial, winter hardy to zone 5. Packet is 10 seeds. I have grown them. I have grown them. I have a yellow variety. I grew 2 plants last year. But the deers love them, so I have to kind of plant them. I planted them in a pot last year, and I put them in a fenced area this year. So I think these will also be, if the plants become taller, they will also be planted out. I think I'm going to just do multiple seeds for this one. These also will be planted out in the pots because the deer loves them. I was like very disappointed because the deers kept eating them. And then finally I removed and put them in some planters, and they kind of survived the entire spring. They only bloom in spring. They're not summer flowers like early spring. They're kind of there early summer, and then they're gone. So I think these will also be planted in some pots for this year. Next year we'll see what happens, right? Okay. Nice. No seeds left. I'm gonna put that, but I still save the packet just in case. Okay, we have one last one. Last one here is a burning heart heliopsis, almost black foliage. I have 2 plants. Last time I had two plants and they are gorgeous. They're actually very tall. I probably can divide them. So I wanted more of them because they're really, really tall. They grow to 3 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet tall. I think mine are 4 feet tall. And they have like a black foliage with yellow flowers, and they're bright yellow with like an orange reddish center. They're absolutely beautiful. They're kind of in a shade, and I noticed that the one with, because I think it is in shade, did not do very, very well. So I want to make sure that this year I plant them in full sun. I'm planning to put them in the front garden, and they did flower the very first year. So I'm going to have some orange flowers this year. So 2 to each packet. Sorry, each seed cell. Hopefully there are 12. No, they're not 12. They're 10. No, they're 11. Yeah, so here we go. So this is it. I'm going to show you the next step in a second because I'll clean this up, put them all away, and then I will show you what I'll do next. The soil in. Now we have to water. What I said, I guess, I do like bottom watering because you notice some of the seeds are so small that they can be easily misplaced if you put them on top pour, right? They can move and misplace. So what I do is I fill up this. So this will start absorbing from the bottom, and then when I see the top of the seed or the soil looks moist, I will stop. That now that I have watered all the thing, it will start soaking up the water from the bottom, and then once I see that the top layer of the soil is moist, that's when I stop watering. So I'll come back and recheck in a couple of hours, and I don't have to do that every day because this will every other days I think is good. All the time, at all times, I want the top part, because that's where the seeds are, needs to be moist. So I will come back. So I never pour water from top when they're still very small like this. I always bottom water them. Now I have a warm mat or a heat mat. This looks very old because it is very old, and I only have one, and I've had one for the longest time, and this has been sufficient to grow all my vegetables and flowers and seeds, all of them through this. What I do is now I'm going to take and then place this on top of this heat mat. It is connected to a power outlet. This heat mat will generate a very tiny amount of consistent heat because this house becomes very, very cold in the, it's so cold in here. We have a heat system running, but it's not going to be enough because in the night this will get really, really cold. So what I do is, so this heat mat gives that enough heat throughout the day, throughout the night. It's turned on, it never turns off until I see the seeds. That's all it needs. Once you see the seed popping out, you can actually take it out and then place it by a window, place it under light, whatever. That's the next step, and I'm going to share that later. Second thing it needs is a humidity dome. That means we are creating some heat and we don't want all the moisture to escape off. That also makes sure the top layer of that soil is always moist, and the humidity created will help in better germination. Is this all needed? No. You can create this naturally by placing your seed tray by a window which gets a lot of sun, because that is a residual heat coming from the window, and then you can pop like any kind of a transparent lid on top of it to maintain the humidity. As I said, I have become a little bit more organized now, and I got all of these because this has become my thing now. I do this all the time, and this saves me a lot of time, and it's more organized and it's more cleaner. Process to start the seeds indoors for planting them out in the garden. Each, so I have 12 seed things of 6 of them, so that means I'll have 72 plants to be going out in the garden. That's a lot of plants. 72 plants, really nice looking seedlings which can be planted throughout the garden. Even if I get 60-70% of germination, which is usually the case for me, like I usually have a few things die, I might forget to water, and some of them might kind of get a little weak. So I kind of think that even if I got out of 72 plants, if I got 50 plants, I'm still in a very, very, very good shape for the next gardening season. So that's kind of how I think about this. So yeah, so I will keep you updated as to what I do next when these seeds germinate, and we will catch up soon. So happy gardening, and if you have any questions, drop the comments and then we'll talk more. Take care.